Faith is one of those things that we love to talk about. We love to say that we have faith. But do we? So faith is something that's incredibly important to us because Paul makes the case in Romans 4 that we are justified by faith. If we're justified by our faith, I would probably understand what they're saying, and I would come over here and turn the lights on. If we're justified by our faith, then we better understand what faith is. We better have a good comprehension of what it means when we talk about faith. So in Romans 4, verses 20 through 22, Paul says this about Abraham. He says, Abraham never wavered in believing God's promise. In fact, his faith grew stronger. And in this he brought glory to God. He was fully convinced that God is able to do whatever he promises. And because of Abraham's faith, God counted him as righteous. Now, this whole chapter, Paul has been expanding on one verse in the Bible, Genesis 15:6. That basically says, God saw Abraham's faith and counted it as righteous. And Paul builds the case that we are justified by faith through that. And we hear this, and we hear Abraham never wavered in believing God's promise. And we naturally want to go to the story of Isaac. And you all know the story of Isaac, right? Abraham and Sarah were... Abraham was 99 years old. Sarah was 90 years old. And God said they were going to have a child. And Sarah laughed. I'm willing to bet that my Sarah, if God showed up when she was 90 and said, you're going to have a child, if she showed up today, that's right, and said she's going to have a child, she would laugh, and then cry, and then run. But God showed up and he said, you're going to have a child. And they did. He said, I'm going to come back in a year, and by that time you'll have a child, and his name will be Isaac. And in a year, they had a child, and his name was Isaac. And Isaac grew. And Abraham watched his son grow, and he loved his son. This was God's promise to him. Isaac, this is my boy. He is my promise from God. And then one day God showed up and said, Isaac's a pretty good-looking boy. You're doing a pretty good job raising him. Take him over to the mountain over there and sacrifice him. Abraham never wavered in his faith. But what do you think was going through his mind? As he packed up his son, his promise from God, this boy that he loved, this boy that he had been raising, and took him off the mountain where he was supposed to sacrifice. And he did it. He went. And we all know how the story goes. So they got the mountain. And Isaac said, Dad, I see the wood. I see that we're ready to make a sacrifice. What are we sacrificing? And Abraham said, don't break God will provide. And Abraham tied his son up and laid him on the altar. Was about to plunge the knife in his heart. Angel grabbed it. Said, no. Said, you don't need to do that. Said, there is a lamb right over there. Sacrifice that lamb. And that's the story that we want to go to when we hear that Abraham never wavered in believing God's promise. But I think that Paul was referring to something else. In Genesis 12:1, we read this. The Lord had said to Abram, before he was Abraham, he was Abram, leave your native country, your relatives and your father's family, and go to the land that I will show you. Faith. What is faith? We love to go to Hebrews 11:1, and we love to read that verse. And that verse says faith shows the reality of what we hope for, and it's the evidence of things we cannot see. But that's not the definition of faith. That's what faith does. That's how faith works in our life. But that's not faith. The definition of faith is simple. It's being convinced of the truth of something. That's what the Greek word means, to be convinced of the truth of something. Abraham heard a voice. Go. Leave. Follow me. Leave your family. Follow me. Where are we going? You'll find out. Just follow me. That's where he was. Abraham had a sense of God leading him, and he had a hope that God was telling him the truth, and he saw the reality of that hope. His eyes were able to see the reality of hope. He actually got to the place where God was leading him. See, here's the thing. When we talk about faith, faith is only as good as the object that it's placed. Faith is only as good as the object of the faith. Romans 4:17 says this. That is what the scriptures mean when God told him, I have made you a father of many nations. This happened because Abraham believed in the God who brings the dead back to life and who creates new things out of nothing. I will tell you that we all have faith. Every last one of us have faith. Do you know how I can prove that every last one of you has faith? Because when Noah came up at the end of the singing, and after he prayed, he said, you may all be seated. And what did you all do? There's nobody still standing. You all sat. You had faith that chair was not going to collapse underneath you when you sat down. We all have faith. Atheists have faith. They don't have faith in God, but they have faith. Everybody has faith in something. But the thing is, your faith is only as good as the object that it's placed. Abraham had faith in God. The God who brings the dead back to life and creates new things out of nothing. He heard God say, go. I'll lead you to a new land. And he walked out his door. And every time that I read this story, I think back. So I was kind of a geek when I was growing up. And one of the things that I did from the time I was about 13 till about the time that I was 21, I loved to read. I read through the Lord of the Rings series every year. All of them. The Hobbit, the Fellowship of the Ring, the Two Towers, and the Return of the King. All of them, every year. And there's a quote in there. The beginning of the Lord of the Rings, and it's Bilbo Baggins who's talking to his nephew Frodo, and he says this. He says, it's a dangerous business, Frodo, going out your door. You step onto the road, and if you don't keep your feet, there's no knowing where you might be swept off to. And this was Abraham. He walked out his door, and he had no knowing where he was going to get to. But he had faith. He had faith in God. Now I would suggest that most of us have a hard time having that kind of faith. I want to help you out a little bit this morning. I found a video, and this video gives us excuses about faith. Brittany, go ahead. That might be an actual book somewhere. Abraham had faith. He heard this voice telling him to go. And he went. And a lot of things happened along the way. Scripture tells us he was about 75 years old when this happened. And he was 99 when Isaac was born. So there are 24 years of experiences that happened. He left his father's land along with his nephew Lot. And there was a point where between Abraham and Lot, they had so much stuff, so many livestock, so many people that were living with them that the land could not support them both. So they said, let's separate. And Abraham said to Lot, you go out there and you take a look, and you see which way you want to go. Whichever way you want to go, I'll go the other way. I don't want you to think that I'm trying to take advantage of you, so you choose. So Lot went out and he looked and he saw the land that was fertile and it was lush and it was growing, and he said, I'm going to go this way. My mama didn't raise no fools. I'm going where the land is good, where it can support me. So Abraham said, fine, you go off, you go do that. And Abraham went the other way. And Abraham's land continued to increase, and his livestock continued to increase, and the people that were working for him continued to increase. And there came a point where there was a war. The kings of Sodom and Gomorrah and the kings of a couple other places got together, and they decided they were going to have a fight. And in the midst of this, somehow Lot got taken captive. And Abraham got word of it. And he took 400 of his trained men. I told you he had prospered. Things were going well for him. He had 400 trained men that he could take. And they went, and they fought, and they got Lot back. And they rescued him, and they brought him back. Then, sometime later, three angels visited Abraham. And they told him what God was going to do to Sodom and Gomorrah. What was going to happen? He said, I'm going to destroy this place because the evil that they are doing has risen, and it is a stench in my nostrils, and I'm going to destroy them. And Abraham thinking, well, my nephew Lot is down there. I better step in and do something. So I said, God, what if there are 50 righteous people there? Would you destroy them for that? And God said, no, if I find 50 righteous people there, I won't destroy them. Now, Abraham get in an inch and decided it's time to try and take a mile. Well, what if there's 40 righteous people? Would you destroy Sodom and Gomorrah if there are 40 righteous people? God said, no, I won't destroy them if there's 40. And Abraham pushed it and said, what about 30? And God said, no. He said, what about 20? And God said, no. So what about 10? And God said, no. Abraham said, what about 1? Would you destroy the city if there's one righteous person there? And God said, no. Well, we all know the story. There wasn't one righteous person there. The only possible righteous person was Lot, and he got ran out of town. The angels went to rescue him and take him away because they were going to destroy the town. And we all know how that story goes. The townspeople came up and said, send the angels out because we want to do terrible things to them. And the angels said, no, that's not going to happen. Told Lot to get out of town. Said, don't let anybody look back. Just go. Don't even look back on this place. And Lot's wife looked back and she became a pillar of salt. And Lot got out of there. But Abraham was able to bargain with God. We talked about the birth of Isaac. We talked about the sacrifice of Isaac. And I made this comment before, and I want to expand on it a little bit. In that situation, when Abraham is going off, and he's got his entourage, and they're going and they're getting ready to make this sacrifice, and this sacrifice is going to be Isaac, I would contend that the only person that had any faith in God in that entire situation was Abraham. Abraham knew what God had said. God said, this child, Isaac, is going to be the one through whom I keep my promise to you. And that promise was that God was going to make Abraham into a great nation. He couldn't father many peoples if the child, the only child that he had to father them through was dead. There are a lot of things that are possible, but dead people making babies is not one of them. Of course, we could also say 90-year-old women have babies is also not one of them. Abraham knew what God had promised him, that he was going to be the father of the nation, that the whole world would be blessed through him. In fact, when God was making this promise to Abraham, Abraham said, how can I know that you'll keep this promise? And God said, look up at the stars. Can you count them? And Abraham said, no. He said, your descendants will be as many as them, uncountable. By the way, I put them up. I put these stars up here. You can trust. And God made a covenant with Abraham. He caused Abraham to have a dream. And there was a bull that died and split apart. And Abraham had a vision of God walking between the severed parts of that bull. Now that is how they made a covenant back then. In today's world, when we make a contract with someone, we just sign it. We just sign our name, and that's all we have to do. But back then, apparently, they severed a bull, separated it, left the blood and all the guts and all the gory stuff laying there on the ground, and they walked between it. And the reason why was because it was understood that if either side broke the covenant, broke the contract, then that's what would happen to them. I've heard of liquidated damages before, but that's a little bit extreme. But God made a covenant with Abraham. God told Abraham, I promise you this is what's going to happen. And then he said, go and sacrifice the promise. Go and give up that promise. Go and let it go. Abraham never wavered in believing God's promise. In fact, his faith grew stronger, and into this he brought glory to God. What the scriptures mean when God told him, I have made you the father of many nations. This happened because Abraham believed in God who brings the dead back to life and who creates new things out of nothing. Now here's the funny thing. Paul says that about Abraham, but we have to realize that there were some failures in Abraham's life. After God had told him he was going to make a great nation out of him, Abraham found himself in Egypt. And he looked at his wife. He says, honey, you're kind of hot. You are kind of gorgeous. And I'm afraid that these people are going to see you and see how gorgeous you are, and they're going to kill me, and they're going to take you for your own. So to protect me, tell them you're my sister. Tell them you're my sister. How would you feel if we went somewhere, honey, and I said, you know what? They're going to kill me, and they're going to take you, so why don't you tell them that you're my sister, so they don't kill me and take you? We're staying home. So Abraham lied to the Egyptians. Said, this is my sister. Where was his faith? Where was his faith then? It happened again. He was dealing with Abimelech and Abimelech's people. And again, he looked at his wife, Sarah, and he said, you're kind of hot. They're going to kill me, and they're going to take you. Tell him you're my sister. So Abraham told Abimelech, this is my sister. And Sarah said, I'm his sister. And God came to Abimelech and said, don't touch that woman. You touch that woman, and I'm going to kill you. That's Abraham's wife. And Abimelech went back, and he said to Abraham, what is this terrible thing that you've done? Why did you lie to me? I could have slept with her, and then I would have been cursed. Why did you lie to me? And Abraham said, I was scared. I knew how pretty she was. And I was afraid you were going to kill me, and you were going to take her. And if you thought that she was just my wife, then you wouldn't kill me. Or if that she was just my sister, then you wouldn't kill me. And in the manner of speaking, she is my sister, because she is the daughter of my dad's brother's cousin, or something. There's some relation there. And so in the manner of speaking, she is my sister. He didn't have faith in those situations. And here's how that applies to us, because how many times have you found yourself in a situation and you know what you should do, and you know what faith says you should do? If you truly had faith in God, you would do this, and this would be A, but you choose to do X. How many times has that happened? How many times have we found ourselves in that situation where our faith withers? Where our belief that God can do what He said He's going to do rise up. Here's the thing about those two circumstances. Those times that happened. That was before Isaac was born. That was before God visited him and kept his promise. And that faith, that lack of faith that Abraham showed, didn't cause God to say, all right, I'm done with you. That's it. There's no hope for you. There's no coming back from this. You are cut off. I'm finding someone else. That didn't happen. So when we fall in our faith, why do we think that's what's going to happen to us? How many times have you heard someone say, but I blew it so bad. God can't possibly use me anymore. God can't possibly do anything through me anymore because I am so ridiculous. Abraham did not have faith. God knows the truth. Abraham looked at the circumstances in those two situations, and he allowed himself to be scared. And in his fear, he lied. In his fear, instead of trusting God to protect him and keep his promise, he trusted himself. Anybody can relate to that in here? I would ask for a show of hands, but you would all either raise your hands or you would all lie to me. So take your pick. We all have our moments. But yet, Paul is able to write about Abraham. That he never wavered in believing God's promise. And we see stuff like that in the Bible all the time. Even after David committed adultery with Bathsheba and then conspired to have Uriah, Bathsheba's husband, killed, and he covered it up, he's still called a man after God's own heart. Think about that for a second. Especially those of you that find yourself in this position where you're thinking, God can't use me anymore. Have you had an affair with someone and then conspired to have the husband or the spouse killed and then covered it up? Have you done that? No show of hands for that, because we don't want to know if you did. I am a mandated reporter, and I would have to call the court if you said that. So don't tell me that. We get so wrapped up in our performance, in the things that we do. Because that's what Paul said, right? Abraham was justified by the things that he did. Abraham was justified by the fact that he walked out the door and made a right turn instead of a left turn. That's what justified Abraham, right? That's what the Bible says? No. The Bible says he was justified by his faith. He trusted God. Because he trusted God, he walked out that door and made the right turn instead of the left turn. This morning, there are people sitting here, and I know you're sitting here, where you feel like you have let God down. You feel like your performance hasn't been up to par, and God is done with you. I want to tell you this, and I want you to hear me clearly. God is not as much interested in your performance as he is in your faith. You are justified by your faith. You are justified by your faith. Period. Yes, I know. We have to say, faith leads you to obedience. And that is absolutely correct. Faith does lead you to obedience. But at some level, for some reason, Paul felt justified in saying, even though we know that it's recorded in the Bible the times when Abraham failed in his faith, Paul felt justified in saying that Abraham never wavered. He never wavered in his faith. He never stopped believing God. David never stopped believing God. Peter, the knucklehead that he is, never stopped believing God. He stepped out of the boat and he sank. But he never stopped believing God. And you know what? He stepped out of the boat. How many of you would have done that? He never stopped believing. We are justified by our faith. And until we understand that, until we understand that our justification, the thing that gives us righteous standing in the sight of God, the thing that allows Jesus' blood to be applied to our lives and to cleanse us is our faith. It's not what we do. It's not even how we do it. It's our faith. And then our faith will lead everything. We get our faith right. Because again, faith is only as good as the object that it's placed in. As long as God is the object of our faith, as long as our faith is, I believe that God will keep his promise. I believe that God will do what he said he's going to do. That's where my faith is. As long as that's where my faith is, then I'm okay. If my faith is, well, if I do this and I do this and I do this and I do that, then God is put in a box and he has to do this. That's not faith in God. That's faith in your ability to do this and this and this and that and trap God in a box. If I believe that as long as I live a good life, and as long as I do more of the do's in the Bible than I do of the don'ts in the Bible, that God will save me, that's not faith in God. That's faith in your ability to do more of the do's than you do of the don't. It's a whole lot easier to do the don'ts. I'm just telling you. From experience, I'm telling you. I've lived both sides. It's easier to do the don'ts. There's usually a high cost to doing the do's. There's a higher cost to doing the don'ts, but you know that whole delayed penalty thing is pretty tricky. So it's not about what we do or don't do. It's about our faith. Do we believe that God will keep his promise? That's the question that you have to ask this morning. Do you believe that God will keep his promises? Do you believe that God will justify you if you put your faith in him? That's what the Bible says. That's what the Bible says will happen. If you put your faith in him, he will justify you. You are justified by your faith. That's what it means. Is that what we believe? Take a minute. Look at your heart. Take an honest assessment of your life. Are you trusting God to keep His promises? And is that faith then guiding you? Or are you trying to work as hard as you can to get God to do so? One way works, one way fails. Everybody stand. Let's take a minute and just pray. Lord, in this moment, as we stand here before you, we open our lives up to be searched. Let your Holy Spirit go through our lives, convict us. Lord, in those places where we're trying to earn your justification, where we're trying to trap you in a box to say that you have to do this because we did this. Show us. Lord, in those moments when we are trusting in our own abilities, instead of trusting in you, show us. And Lord, for those things, we repent. We're sorry. We cannot do it on our own. There is nothing we can do. It is only through faith. It is only through you that is able to be done. And we thank you for that. We thank you. We love the Lord. We praise you. We give you all the glory. In Jesus' name. And so this morning, we're going to call that a soft close. If there's anybody here and the Holy Spirit's dealing with you and you found yourself in that place where you are trying to rely on your own work, on your own strength instead of God. You're trying to rely on the things that you do instead of the grace that God gives. This is a good time to lay that down. Jesus said, "Take my yoke upon you, for it is light and easy." Trying to do it on your own is a heavy yoke. Come and be joined to Jesus. Let him do it. Let him be the one who justifies you. Put your faith in him this. If there's anybody that finds yourself in that place this morning, where you just need to lay down stuff, come forward. The altars are open. I will be here to pray with you. Noah will be here to pray with you. Just come forward. We need to. This is so important. If we don't get this right, we don't get anything else right in our entire life. Come forward.